votre siège ou on n'a pas entrevue.
Welcome to Toronto Pearson International Airport. We're on board Air Canada Flight 1022, direct service from Toronto to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we are about to board a cruise ship for a 10-day Panama Canal cruise. Today's flight is on Charlie Golf, Juliet Yankee Echo, a 3-year-old Airbus A220-300. Now, as we push back here from Terminal 1, you're going to discover something really interesting, at least I did. The A220 is incredibly quiet. It's hard to believe the engine is actually starting right now. And as the slats extend, you notice there's no sound from that either. No noise of hydraulics. You can barely hear the actuators going. It's easy to see this is a modern 21st century aircraft. You can also see the Emirates A380 sitting there in the background. I've got a couple quick videos of that landing in Toronto. I've seen it a couple times on the ground at Pearson, and you only ever get to see the tail because it's just so big it's buried behind the jetways. Now, we were a little delayed getting out this morning. It had something to do with computers filing flight plans, I believe, is what the pilot was telling us. But it was about a 35-minute delay. We were on board, everybody was cozy, doors were closed. We were actually early for a change, which normally doesn't happen to the airline industry, but they had us on board, the door closed, ready, because everybody was there on time. Unfortunately, there was a small computer glitch that delayed us still. Lining up on runway 23 here at Toronto Pearson with a UPS MD-11 there in the background. We still haven't figured out the GoPro. The GoPro's got this auto leveling feature, and for some reason the G-force in an aircraft on takeoff, it likes to slant the angle back. As you can see just how quiet the aircraft really is. Like, we're sitting right next to the engine. There's almost no noise coming off of it once we get moving. Now you can see we seem to be climbing pretty steep at a pretty slow airspeed as well. Far as I can understand, Toronto has a noise abatement restriction below 3,600 feet. So the idea is they like to climb out slow but steep, and that way by the time you start to get near any of the houses off the end of runway 23, you're well above that noise abatement zone, and it's not an issue. Okay, we'll speed the video up here a little bit because, you know, gray, cloudy skies in southern Ontario in December is not what anybody wants to see. We get up here above 8,000 feet and we finally break through the clouds and nice blue sky. And something else with the GoPro. The speed is GPS speed across the ground, not through the air. I have made a couple of these videos and people see the speed and think that we're breaking the 250 knots below 10,000 foot roll. Well, now it may have been sunny up here, but it was not clear at all. Finally, just over Charleston, South Carolina, we managed to break through some clouds and actually be able to see the ground for a change. So the Air Canada A220-300 seats 137 people. 12 people in business with a 2 and 2 configuration, and 125 in economy with a 2 and 3 configuration. I prefer to keep the camera down and out of people's privacy when they're on board flights like this, but if you want to check out a full interior tour of the Air Canada A220, check out the link up above or in the end card. Back in 2020, I was invited to the media press release for the A220 with Air Canada when they put it into service, and I was able to get a whole walkthrough pretty much unobstructed. Coming over the coast in South Florida, and that is Port Everglades down there in the distance. And tomorrow morning we will climb aboard the Ruby Princess for a 10-day Panama Canal cruise. There's a couple of cruise ships down there in the distance. And it was kind of interesting being the time of day. They looked like they were getting ready to go out still. This was about 1 in the afternoon. Most cruise ships tend to leave around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Making our base turn into Fort Lauderdale, that is the Florida Everglades and I-75, otherwise known as Alligator Alley. Now, we did actually see some alligators on this trip, not while we were in Fort Lauderdale or on the cruise ship. We saw some up the coast in around Orlando and Titusville when we went to the Kennedy Space Center at the end of our trip. Subscribe to the channel and check out that video. It'll be here very, very shortly as well. Pretty interesting stuff. Didn't get to see a rocket launch this time like we did last time we were at Kennedy. However, we get to see 3 rockets on the pad ready to go, including a Falcon Heavy. So please give the video a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll let you enjoy the final approach into Fort Lauderdale.
Nope. No, we gotta be close. Oh yeah. There's the UPS. No, we're not. That was a bit of a bounce. G-Gen, those are the ones that go up and make you feel like you're weightlessness.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.